going to turn the microphone over to Kent Barton, the founder of the Ethereum Denver Meetup, which is where this all spawned from, actually. So if you don't know who I am, I'm John. I'm one of the stewards here. And we're going to go ahead and just jump right into the opening ceremonies program.
Thank you, John.
Take it over.
So welcome, everybody, to the third iteration of ETHDenver. We're super glad you're here. We've been so excited getting ready for this. It's like several weeks or even months for some people of chaos, but it's all worth it. So thank you, whether you're from the city or the state or another state or abroad. You are what makes this awesome. Quick intro, like John mentioned, my name is Kent. I'm wearing my buffacorn handkerchief, so that must mean I'm going to be the MC this weekend. I do R&D stuff at ShapeShift. As he mentioned, I started the Ethereum community here about 6 years ago. You might see me on Twitter or Reddit as Seventh Wave. Speaking of Twitter, all the maximalists on Twitter were telling me that Ethereum is dying a protracted and sure death, and developers are leaving in droves. So we're actually expecting maybe like 10 people to show up, but we have a fair bit more. So it appears the maximalists were completely wrong. So quick shout out. We just saw something awesome. So here's the thing. The world is changing before our eyes right now. We're seeing societal transformation by virtue of this technology. For example, what we just saw earlier with 2 state governors joining us. The world is getting involved in crypto. It's a far cry from where we were six years ago. Colorado in particular is a fertile ground for blockchain development. And as we dig in, I wanted to give a quick shout out to some crypto companies that make it so special to be here. Radar Relay, DEX, and Node Infrastructure. I've seen many Radar people here. Electric Coin Company. I don't know if Zuko's in the house, but we're all familiar with Zcash. Opolis, flexible employment benefits for the future. Austin Griffith, where's Austin? I feel like Austin is a company unto himself. He's that prolific. We're going to hear from him shortly. Dapix and FIO, while interoperability, making a David, solving some very pressing needs with respect to UX in blockchains. The mighty ShapeShift, non-custodial asset management in a nice, sexy, and frictionless platform. Gitcoin. Kevin is here today. Just had his second child. Kevin is here in Colorado, and Gitcoin, of course, is revolutionizing how digital funding works in blockchains. I also want to point out that here in Denver, we're building on the shoulders of giants. Sorry, wrong Satoshi there. There we go. We're building on the shoulders of giants. Here in Denver, there is an amazing Bitcoin community prior to anything Ethereum related, and what you see here is very much an outgrowth of that original community. So shout out to the old OGs and the Denver Bitcoin Center. So one thing to, I think, keep in mind, even though we're seeing this mainstream transformation, is at the core, Ethereum is cypherpunk. It's cypherpunk as hell. Today people are doing things like making private transactions now with Aztec. They're escaping the vagaries of central bank money printing thanks to MakerDAO and the DAI. A lot of the values of cypherpunk are coming to life thanks to Ethereum. In 1993, Eric Hughes wrote in the Cypherpunk Manifesto that information doesn't just want to be free, it longs to be free. And we really try to embody that at ETHDenver. It literally is free to attend, as you know. It is free of charge, thanks to our awesome sponsors who we'll hear tonight. But this stuff is too important to keep caged up and siloed. It's very, we believe in open source. So ultimately, why are we here? To hang out, network, meet people, watch buffacorns, hang out with governors and other elected officials, perhaps. But ultimately, it's to build cool things. And what is it about Ethereum that makes it so fun to build on? What is the power of crypto? This is a quote from Ben DiFrancesco writing in the Bankless newsletter recently, and I think he perfectly captures the spirit of what is so important. To paraphrase the first part, he's saying someday some kid in his parents' basement or in his dorm room is going to build something that's going to change the world. And how is this going to happen? Permissionless, decentralized crypto networks, along with the compounding effects of other permissionless protocols built on top. This is the crux right here. And this is why it's so cool. The era of gatekeepers is gone. No longer do you have to placate all the usual suspects. All that matters is your users, the team you're working with. It also kind of underscores the sage advice of Timothy Leary. And this is a good thing to keep in mind, of course, in the era of crypto influencers, people with many Twitter followers telling you what to think or how things are. In this permissionless era, it doesn't matter what they think. Ultimately, the only opinion that matters is yours. So think for yourself and do your own thinking. Question authority. On another note, we like to sort of step away from the tribalism that has, at the nation-state level, brought us such wonders as world wars and genocides and the specter of imminent nuclear annihilation. This has no place in crypto. And we really embody this at ETHDenver. You'll notice alongside a ton of Ethereum projects, we have Cosmos teams here, Zcash, Ethereum Classic. We welcome this because ultimately it's about getting together and focusing on the tech and getting away from the tribal. So we have a ton of ground to cover. I wanted to wrap it up with a quote from the late and great Hunter S. Thompson, who was a resident of this state. He lived in Aspen. This quote is from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and I think I read it recently, and it occurred to me it so perfectly captures what's happening in crypto right now. In this quote, he's talking about the sort of the 60s anti-war movement and that countercultural movement. What we see before our eyes here is a burgeoning new movement, and I think this is the perfect ethos here. There is madness in any direction at any hour. You could strike sparks anywhere. There is a fantastic universal sense that whatever we were doing was right, that we were winning. And that, I think, was the handle, that sense of inevitable victory over the forces of old and evil. Not in any mean or military sense. We didn't need that. Our energy would simply prevail. There was no point in fighting on our side or theirs. We had all the momentum. We were riding the crest of a high and beautiful wave. Of course, the sad epilogue to this is that in the 60s, that beautiful wave crested and was replaced by cynicism and war in the 70s. So why wouldn't it be the same way with this crypto movement? For starters, we can learn from the past. We can learn what went wrong with Web 1 and Web 2. And most importantly, we have this permissionless nature. We have this permissionless technology we can build on. This is the core. So I have no doubt that dozens of amazing things will be coming out of this hackathon based on this. And we're super excited to see it. Thank you.